today about rest and recovery. And we're just going to kind of dive right in today into that topic and get Toni's thoughts on the importance of rest and recovery. Well, actually, before we start that, let's have Toni tell a little bit more about herself, and then we'll dive right into that topic.
Okay, well, hello. Thank you very much for having me here. It's always a pleasure. I am Toni Ridge. I run Me Time LLC. It is a professional self-care studio featuring massage, yoga, facials, waxing, and workshops. And our primary focus is stress and its effects on the body and how to counter that. One of the biggest things you can do to counter the effects of stress on your body is getting adequate rest and recovery after any major stressors. It could be mental stress, it could be physical exertion, it can be emotional turmoil, of which I'm sure we have none right now, right?
Right.
So when your body is perceiving a threat, it starts to produce different hormones like cortisol, which impede your recovery and your healing and rebuilding time. So sleep especially is very important for your rest and recovery, because that's the prime time when your body can fix any damage that you've already done to it. So if you maybe got a bruise or broke a bone, or maybe pushed a little too hard on that workout and you're starting to feel it, getting adequate sleep is your key to recovering, and not only getting your body back to where it was before the stress, but also getting stronger and more resilient for the next stressors that come along. As far as what it means for your workout, if you are trying to work out to lose weight, if you're trying to work out to bulk up, if you're trying to work out just to maintain good health, you're physically straining the body, which is kind of the whole point of working out. But you also need to allow adequate time for your muscles and your body and your mind really to recover from that stress and strain. A lot of people who are working out on a regular basis have this competitive mindset. I gotta do better than my last time, or I gotta do better than this thing over here, or I have a goal over here I have to meet. Not only does that put physical stress on your body, it also puts that mental and emotional component in as well. So downtime is important to neutralizing all the stress that all of that causes.
Right. And I think that's important. Like, a lot of people get confused the difference between sleep, rest, and then recovery, because they want to think all three are the same thing. Oh, when I'm sleeping, I'm resting, I'm recovering, and they're all similar, but we should do each one separate. So maybe talk to us about, let's start with sleep. What is the average amount of time of sleep that you think an individual should have?
Well, the average amount of time that a majority of people need is about 7.5 to 8 hours of sleep. That gives you enough time to go through about 5 different REM cycles. Your REM cycle is your sleep cycle. Allows you to get fully relaxed. Your body starts to kind of go, it's not going to move, and your mind can deal with things in ways that only your mind can understand. Going through a complete cycle is very important, because if you wake yourself up in the middle of it, that actually stresses you out too. If you've ever taken like a 30-minute nap, you might have gotten an initial boost, like, okay, I'm finally awake, but that only lasts maybe an hour, and then you're back down lower in energy than you were before the nap.
Yeah.
So if you just need to rest, it's best just to kind of sit in a quiet place, let your mind kind of settle, because during the day there's a whole whirlwind of things going on in your brain. I need to wake up, I need to accomplish this thing here, got to get the kids ready, got to go to work, got to tidy the house, got to cook dinner, lunch, breakfast, got to make sure that everyone gets to bed, all their homework's done, all the work is done. So our brains are constantly firing and trying to figure out, how do I solve this problem? If you can't get your full REM cycle, whether it's a full 7.5 to 8 hours, or at least 6 hours, just to kind of get the baseline going, then you can actually take a moment and just settle your brain, settle down, and not necessarily empty your mind, because that's never going to happen. But be aware of what you're thinking, label it, and move it aside. And by doing that, you're able to compartmentalize a little bit better. You're able to focus more on what's in front of you. And when your brain starts functioning that way, you start to relax. And when you hit that relaxation point, that's when your body starts to recover from the stresses, from the mental stresses, physical stresses, emotional stresses, all of the combined stressful situations your body can actually recover from like a 9 or 10 minute meditation.
All right, so meditation is good to do.
Absolutely.
What's some other things? Because some people have a hard time
yeah.
to rest. So what are some other things that you would suggest besides like meditation being one? What else?
Well, one of the things that can help clear a lot of people's minds is just going for a walk. Not okay, I'm gonna push and I'm gonna exercise this walk. Just a walk. Observe the things around you. Maybe you'll be outside and you can look up and see a cloud. What do you see in the cloud? Just situational observations helps you focus and be present in the moment. And things like just going for a walk, being present even during the mundane things like washing dishes. Who doesn't have a pile of dishes waiting for them? Right? You can actually turn that into a relaxation exercise.
Oh, gosh.
Can I do that really?
I don't know that.
Well, what you do to turn every mundane thing into basically you're using it as a relaxation technique is focus on what you're experiencing now. So how hot is the water? Are the suds there? How thick are the suds? What textures do you feel? If you're cleaning pots and pans, do I feel the grease? What textures do I feel? Observing how your body feels. Is your back sore? Are your hips hurting you? Are your feet sore? Focus on what your body is experiencing, and suddenly a mundane task that everyone loves to do, right? Can be turned into a meditative exercise or a relaxation exercise.
Okay.
So cooking food, eating food, walking, just a simple act of getting dressed, brushing your teeth. Your routines can all be part of your relaxation.
Okay, I'm glad you brought that up. A routine, forming like a habit. Like one thing that I've read and been trying to do myself more recently, especially with everything going on, is to form habits. So right when I wake up, I try to make the first hour of my day, no matter like what time it is, the same kind of routine.
Right.
So that I'm in the habit of doing the same thing. And usually it just consists like, getting ready, having some water or coffee, and really eating breakfast and then going for a walk. Just to kind of clear my mind for the day and really prepare for the day. So, when it comes to just this, I guess kind of as aside from rest and recovery, but when we're talking about habits, but can forming habits and routines help you though in having a more restful mind?
It can and it can't at the same time.
A double-edged sword.
It is. Because once you have that habit, you start going on autopilot and you stop being present in the moment.
Okay.
All right. However, the good part about having habits is you know what you have to do and there's no stress on, okay, what do I got to do next? What do I got to do next?
Right.
So having a routine is good. Changing up the routine, even just a little bit, helps you stay present in what you're doing.
Okay.
Like you might not think of how you travel from place to place around town as a habit. However, if you're going to work and from work every day, I bet you that you're taking the same route every day.
Yeah, your car picks up on it now, right?
That's right.
You can cars, it just tells you where you're going.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You could practically fall asleep and still get there because you're programmed. You've already dialed in that habit of how to get there.
Right.
So to change it up a little bit to keep you more present, maybe go around the neighborhood. Maybe take a new route. Even just once a week, change your route. If you're right-handed, try eating with your left hand.
I'll starve, I think.
But just that simple act of doing things just a little different helps keep you present now, because when you're on autopilot and you're automatically just going through the motions, your brain is still going in that whirlwind.
Right.
All right, and if your brain is going in that whirlwind, it's sending the signal to your body, hey, we're under attack, start pumping out the cortisol, get prepared. And that's when your breath shortens, that's when your muscles tighten up, that's when you stop sleeping so well, you stop digesting so well, you know, all of the typical stress symptoms.
Right.
So just that one thing, just changing up one thing every week will keep you present so that you can actually almost enjoy the mundane.
Right.
And that's where the relaxation can come in.
Well, and I'm a teacher as well, as some people may know. So one thing, like especially for teachers or maybe people that can't really leave work, it's they have to have things to help them relax at work if they can. That's very hard for teachers to do.
Okay.
So listening to soft music, or things like that, maybe essential oils, like what do you suggest, things like that to kind of help people just calm down a little?
Absolutely, especially if you're not used to relaxing, anything that can help you trigger yourself into, oh, this is a different mind space. This is, I have to get ready. I have to ready myself to relax.
Right.
So that's one of the things that essential oils or even just listening to quiet music can do, because it separates this time from the hustle and bustle of every day. So if you have some music that you enjoy, even if it's not the quiet type, I realize that, you know, everyone likes all sorts of different kinds of music.
Right.
You know, whatever helps you relax, listen to it. What I suggest to a lot of my clients is if you have a smartphone, and most people do, set the timer for 5 minutes.
Okay.
And for that 5 minutes, do whatever brings you joy.
Okay.
It could be work on a crossword puzzle. It could be Sudoku. It could be a jigsaw puzzle. It could be playing with your kids. It could be maybe words with friends on your phone or something. Like Candy Crush is another thing that you can just kind of mindlessly do and not have to think about anything. And just whatever makes you smile, do it.
Do that.
And if you don't have access to the tools that you need to do to, maybe you're an artist and you like to paint, or maybe running in nature makes you happy. Kind of hard to do that in 5 minutes, especially in full wind regalia. So what you can do is sit in a nice quiet place, if it's available, or just kind of block everything else out and imagine doing what makes you happy. Because your mind really doesn't know the difference between what you see and hear and what's happening out here.
Right.
It will assume that if you can imagine it, it's happening.
Okay.
So you can still get that same relaxation response that you would get from jogging, from painting, from playing on the piano, to whatever it is that you love. Just imagining it for 5 minutes and being fully immersed in it will have that same relaxation and enjoyability response.
Okay, that's good. All right, we'll move on to recovery, because a lot of people get recovery confused with both the sleep and the rest as well. And then a lot of athletes will even say, oh, today's going to be my active recovery day. Whereas a CrossFitter may go super hard all week long in their workouts or strength things that they are trying to accomplish. Then on an active recovery day, they say, I'm going to go do like a 5K, which I don't really think that's active recovery, but you know. So tell me what you think about recovery, because there is controversy on, is a 5K really active recovery, or, you know, is it not? So tell me what you think as far as making sure you have some recovery in the week.
Well, it depends on how active you are. If you're running a marathon on a daily basis, a 5K is kind of an enjoyable little jaunt down the road. However, if you're normally, you know, if you do your 1 hour of cardio a week and that's it, a 5K would definitely not be relaxing or recoverable.
Right.
So recovery for me is especially important if you have an injury, or if you're constantly trying to break down old tissues to build up new tissues. Your body needs time to not just rest, but recover. And what that recovery is it needs to repair or replace the tissue that's been damaged. And if you're bulking up, you are damaging muscle tissues, like little micro damage, but you're doing that so you can grow bigger, stronger muscle fibers.
Okay.
That doesn't happen if you don't give it a chance to rebuild.
Right.
One of the things that I have noticed just over my career is that people who push themselves really hard with their workout, if they get injured, they'll walk it off, so to say, or they won't give themselves time to recover from that injury before they go on and try to move forward. And what that does is it weakens the tissues so that you're more prone to get that same injury or similar injuries again and again and again. It becomes a chronic problem eventually.
Mm-hmm.
So recovery means not just not doing anything, okay? Because that will stress some people out too.
Right.
It's being kind to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
If you feel pain in, say, your knee or your ankle, especially if it's keeping you from doing things, get it seen about, make sure there isn't some serious damage, and then make sure that you are giving your body what it needs to repair.
Mm-hmm.
All right, your body needs protein, your body needs minerals and nutrients to rebuild what was torn down.
Right.
And then if you try to jump back into what you were doing before the injury, you're just going to re-damage it. So you have to slowly progress back up to where you were pre-injury status. And that's where a lot of people fall short. They're like, oh, I'm just going to jump in both feet, no problem.
Right.
And then they just re-injure themselves.
This is true. And so, like, on a daily basis, I like what you said. If you're working out, doing things like that, you need to rebuild and repair through supplements is one way. You can do it, of course, naturally through food if you're getting enough. But protein, your BCAAs, things like that. Now, I kind of have to do a little extra on the recovery end and do something kind of weekly as well, which I did have a little routine going before the pandemic, when it's gotten messed up a little bit. But I would rotate between like the chiropractor, getting a massage with you, doing cryo, and just getting on like a spinulator machine and the TENS unit.
Absolutely.
So tell us about even things that you do here with your massages and things that are through yoga that it actually can help recover.
Okay. Well, with the massage, we'll start with that. All of the services that you talked about, the chiropractic, the cryo, the massage, all of those are wonderful supplemental recovery services that you can get. Because let's face it, if we don't, if we try to say pop our backs ourselves, we could do some damage. If we try to get like I'm sure you've seen some of those products where you can kind of blast fascia and things like that. You can actually do damage to yourself if you go like hog wild with it.
Right.
So what we do here with massage is we'll find the source of the pain or discomfort. We'll address it directly, and then we'll kind of help the body relax enough to get ample circulation to bring all of the nutrition that you have in your body to that location so it can rebuild. One of the things that I see a lot in people who are recovering is that they lose their range of motion and they end up being stiff. So what I do in the massage room is I will help with some assisted stretching, and then once that gets them to where they can move, we move into the yoga room, and we can do active stretching, we can do passive stretching, we do meditation, just to kind of get the mind to calm down so the body can actually rebuild what it needs to repair and rebuild. Through massage with manual manipulation or the cupping or even just the stretching, studies have shown that not only does it bring more circulation to the area, it can actually initiate an inflammatory response. That's actually a good thing, because some people, if they've got this constant chronic, body injuries and stresses, that's just a constant inflammation response that just hasn't gone away. By initiating a new one, it helps the body kind of complete that inflammation cycle and actually complete the healing that it's been trying to do for however long it's been inflamed.
Interesting. I never knew that.
And then, like with the yoga, I deal a lot with beginners, but I also deal a lot with relaxation aspect of it. Because there is that meditative quality to yoga when you're trying to combine what your mind is thinking with what your body is doing. It helps your mind get into that rest and recovery phase, so it stops sending out the signal, hey, send out the stress hormones.
Yeah.
So your body says, oh, I can turn that off, all right. And that's when your muscles actually start to relax on their own. You can start taking fuller, deeper breaths. Your muscles become a little bit more pliable, and you can actually stretch and increase your tensile strength of the muscles and the connective tissue, because you're breathing, you're getting plenty of oxygen, and that stretching increases your range of motion, which then increases your ability to perform at whatever athletic or personal level that you want to perform at.
Okay. All right, that's neat. And you do the yoga massage, right?
I do yoga massage.
Which is you don't hear a lot of people, especially in our area, doing that. So tell us a little bit more about that.
Okay, yoga massage is a combination of restorative yoga, hands-on massage, and mindfulness. It is not a deep tissue massage, but it is a very relaxing service. It's a relaxing massage and yoga experience that helps get your body into that restorative cycle. So what I do is I talk people into the yoga pose. And these yoga poses, you're not standing up, you're not straining or stressing, you're not standing on your head or anything, but you're actually fully supported by cushions, blocks, bolsters, blankets, so your body can just kind of melt into that posture. And then once everybody's relaxed, I come around and I massage the areas I have access to in each of those postures. All the while, I'm talking you through a guided meditation. So we're working mind, body, emotions, everything is just finally fluid by the end of it. And once you're in that relaxation mindset and your body's finally learned it can let go, you start to recover faster, you're able to focus better, your range of motion increases, your moods are elevated, and your sleep, the rest part, is improved in quality and quantity. So you sleep better for a longer stretch of time.
Okay. Now I know during the pandemic that a lot of people have had to do like YouTube, like follow somebody on YouTube or do Zoom or whatever. I'll be honest, I like going somewhere to kind of do those things. So if I was going to do yoga, I would not going to do it at home, because to me, like home, I'm constantly thinking about things I need to do at home, and I'm not going to take time to shut it all out and do yoga in my bedroom when I can see everything that needs to be done.
Absolutely.
So you think that a lot of people are like that, and it's better to kind of go somewhere to kind of get their mind off of things?
For a majority of people, yes, especially the homemakers, that whether it's the male counterpart, the female counterpart, if you're focused on how to make home better and more comfortable, when you're at home, that's what's going to hit you first. So you could be sitting there in a nice little yoga pose looking around going, I really have to paint that wall over there, or I never realized how stained that ceiling is, or
Right.
look at that laundry pile over there, I really should be doing that, but I'm taking care of myself, so I'm now starting to feel guilty about taking care of myself because I see all of these things laying around.
Right.
So for a lot of people, and this is a majority of people, they feel more comfortable going someplace where they actually, it's almost like a ritual, where they have to get dressed, they have to drive to a place, they have to sign into a place, and they're held accountable by the other people there.
Right.
And without that, a majority of people, they might do it a day or two, and then it just falls off.
And I think accountability is big in so much, and we're all learning that right now with everything going on too. So, is there anything else you can think of when it comes to rest, recovery, and sleep that we could do to get better? Like I'm thinking here with sleep, people that get up to go to the bathroom a lot. How can they help control that some? Or I know some people have their pets sleep with them in the bed, and that can actually probably take away from their sleep.
It does.
So what are some things people can do then to improve improve their sleep and actually get those full cycles?
Okay, well, first is to make sure that your sleep area is a comfortable area for you. Some people maybe just aren't comfortable in their bed for whatever reason. They're not uncomfortable laying flat, or that's where they pile up all the clean laundry that they haven't yet folded and put away. Not that I know from experience or anything. Or maybe you sleep with a TV on, or you have music on, or the dogs are constantly coming and going, or the cats are scratching at your face. You need your sleep space to be quiet and peaceful, so it's conducive to you actually getting sleep.
Right.
So turn off the TV. If you need like noise to get to sleep, play some soft music or some white noise. I know people are going to kind of cringe, but kick the pets out of the bed, get them their own bed in their own area, because them jumping off the bed, jumping back on the bed is only going to serve to stir you, wake you up from whatever point in sleep you are, and then it's going to take you that much longer to recover and go back into sleep, and that's going to interrupt your sleep cycle. If you wake up or you're disturbed in the middle of your sleep cycle, you're not going to get the rest that your body needs.
Right.
Also, set up, if it's difficult for you to get to sleep, start a routine. Maybe if like my son's bedtime is 8 o'clock, so about 7 o'clock we start putting things away. By 7:30 he's in the shower, he's changing into his pajamas. By about 7:45 he's brushing his teeth and playing the last few minutes with his toys, and then at 8 o'clock we bring him to bed and we say goodnight. We have our little night lights and our little goodbye routine, and we close the door so that the dogs don't go in there and jump.
Right.
Because we do have a very active puppy who loves to sleep in Zeus's bed for some reason. And so we have to kind of keep that out. Otherwise it disturbs him and he just wakes up a little grumpy in the morning because he didn't get his sleep.
Right.
So protect your sleep space. Make it your own private sacred space. Nothing can disturb this place. Another thing, don't bring work into the bedroom.
Okay.
A lot of people, they either work from home or they bring work home from them. Teachers are especially notorious for this, not that I know any. So you're sitting there grading papers until the wee hours in the morning, and then you have it right there. So the last thing you see is work. The first thing you see is work, and that's the last thing you want to do to try to rest for the night, because your brain will constantly go over and over and over all these things. And then lastly, just tell yourself, I need to go to sleep. Because if you don't, that whirlwind is going to keep on spinning up in your head, and you're going to constantly be spinning on, okay, well, tomorrow I got to do this, that, and the other thing. I got to do this, that, and the other thing. Time management, setting priorities, write things down so it doesn't have to spin in that little whirlwind up there.
Right.
Put it down, put it aside. Okay, now I'm going to go to sleep. I'm going to wake up refreshed and happy in the morning. And then once you set that in your mind, you can do it.
And a lot of people get supplements to help them sleep, and I'm not opposed to that. I prefer personally to do things more naturally. So things that you suggest, like as far as sound, and I kind of have some essential oils going, and just make my bedroom kind of like you said, a comfortable place. So, but supplements. Talk to us about, like, I guess, over-the-counter natural supplements that are good that you know of to take.
Okay, well, I know that melatonin is widely used, and it has had a great response from a majority of people who've used it. If taking pills isn't your thing, you can always do like an herbal tea, like a chamomile tea. Or if that's not, hard-hitting enough, you can do a valerian root tea. And those are all very good calmatives. They're mild sedatives and can help you kind of get into that, okay, I think I'm sleepy now. I think I'm going to go to sleep.
Right.
Another thing, if you don't want to ingest something, put a warm towel fresh from the dryer around your feet. It sounds weird, and I know that there's the Alabama heat. I just came in from the heat. Why do I want the heat? That warm towel around your feet is sometimes enough to trigger that, I think I'm sleepy and ready to go to sleep kind of response.
Okay.
Other supplements I might recommend would be something to help you modify your stress levels or kind of get your emotions into an even keel. So something like a B complex in the morning for energy and nervous modulation. Holy basil is another supplement you can use to help keep your moods at an even keel, so that they're not one of those things that are spinning around and keeping you from going to sleep.
Yeah, okay. I've never even heard of that. I'll have to look it up.
It's a wonderful herbal supplement. It is all natural. There are many different companies that have some kind of holy basil supplement. But especially if you just had a big emotional shock, you've lost a loved one, you just lost a job, you got a new job, maybe a new baby, or there's some kind of emotional thing going on. The holy basil is really good for helping keep you on an even keel. So the holy basil and the valerian root, both of them are really good at doing that.
Okay. All right, so throughout our conversation, I've noticed that we kind of talked about a routine or a habit when you wake up and when you go to bed.
And when you go to bed.
So, and you said change it up a little.
A little
so
bit.
that's good. But I think that obviously it's important to form some habits and somewhat of a routine in the morning and at night. Kind of get your day going, and then to calm down from whatever went on throughout your day.
Absolutely.
So, was there anything else you could think of that we didn't cover that you could share with everybody?
Well, one of the things that I found that helps a lot of people is when you get home from work, especially in today's environment, take a shower.
Okay.
And that's one thing that can help you get into your mindset of, I'm not at work, I'm not stressed out,
Right.
I'm cleansing the stress from my body. So that when you're dealing with your family and you're dealing with your home, you're now in your home mindset, not I just finished putting out fires at work and now I'm at home putting out fires here.
Right.
It helps to shift the mindset so that you de-stress and decompress. And once you decompress, it's a whole lot easier to get that rest, that restoration, and the sleep that you need to recover from everything.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you taking time out of your day, because I know you're super busy, to do this for us. And I hope that you guys learned a little bit more about rest, recovery, and sleep. Thank you, Toni.
You're